Um, Chris, you mentioned something that I think would this would be really helpful because I know Christine was looking for this. We have a lot of loan officers that maybe haven't ever done a refi or maybe have done just a small number of refinances. I like Jay's nodding his head. And so I'm wondering if we could take maybe some of the more experienced guys that have done a lot of refinances and create maybe some recorded trainings around just first of all, best practices around, like, because Chris, what you're doing is a great idea for, just teeing your clients up, getting them ready, like building up the pipeline so that when the opportunity comes, you can knock them down. Giuseppe, you've always been really good at having an advanced look at your database. Jack, you as well. And then, but also the kind of refinances that people have never done, like some of the streamline refinance variances. There's just a lot of things that if you've never done it, you're like, how does this work? And, it's usually typically easier than that. So, or it's easier to do but if you've never seen it, it seems like it's very complicated. So I'm going to reach out to some of the more experienced guys after this call and next week, and we'll see if we can get some volunteers to do some like 30-minute trainings where we do a video training and then we have some Q&A, and then we can store that stuff up so that people have an opportunity to, like, here, we're going to talk about, best practices for teeing up refis. We're talking about, here's what you need to know about doing FHA streamlines. Here's what you need to know about V8 earls, that kind of thing, because there are some nuances to that product and that work that, when somebody's trying to refinance a CHFA loan, what you can and can't do if there's a second, those types of things. So I'll be reaching out to you guys to see if there's people want to volunteer and do some training for that so that we can have some of that recorded in a library. Because I think that would be really helpful as these opportunities are going to start to present themselves our way.
Watch that Barry video from last week, I think it was.
What's that?
Barry and Tim did a video. I think I said it.
How was that? Did you finish it?
Started it, haven't finished it. So it's in my inbox, but everyone should watch it. It's Tim's.
It was really good.
You guys,
the Tim Brahim one.
Yeah, I think so.
Right on. And then just to give you an update on product. So what Giuseppe was talking about was he's got this doctor loan that is supposed to close mid-October. And so we're going to be able to do it because it's going to close after October 1st. So we're going to be able to do this at Huntington. So if something like that comes up, just, don't hesitate to raise your hand and come and talk to me. You can't close it before then, just due to it's reporting issues more than anything else. But the fact that it's going to close in fund, we can get it started now in the old Encompass platform and be fine to close it. We'll move it to the new Encompass platform and close it after we unhook from Zenith 1.0 platform. So just FYI on that. And then two more full approvals this week. PHH and Deep Haven came through, so we're doing those onboarding calls as well. I think I told you last week. I did. I told you that we have our third warehouse line, right? So you know that we have 3 $10 million lines, so we're good there. And that's about it. We're doing onboarding calls with these companies, so we're having to get everybody set up. Sherry, Renee, Kim, myself, we're doing onboarding calls with these investors to find out all the nuances of working in their systems, and then we're all on video calls, 3, 4, 5 times a week with different platforms that are getting rolled out. So I don't even know the names of half the people I've talked to in the last couple of months. Like, oh, have we talked before? Yeah, we talked. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Now I remember. I don't remember. But I'm talking to too many people. So, but it's going well and we're getting a lot of stuff done. And it does feel good to get that we're moving closer to this finish line here. And so I think I was checking the other day and they're like, we're down to less than 30 business days where we're going to still be hooked up to the VIP process. So it's going to be fun when we're completely separated. that's it. I don't have a whole lot more to cover other than I was going to ask Mary Jo to share a little bit more with this group, kind of your experiences. I didn't prepare you for this, but a little bit more about your experiences as a recruiter and the role that you've been in at Axia, to talk about that a little bit, and just to share. I've never recruited very well because most of the people on this call didn't work in the mortgage business before I hired them, and so I'm curious to hear your experiences that you could share with these guys, and any help that they might be able to give you over the next however long this is going to be. So let's go.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to share if there's any specific questions that you guys have. I want to make sure that I'm representing Zenith with the correct culture, that I'm approaching prospects that meet and would be a good fit for the organization. So calls like this are really helpful because then I get to sort of hear, what you're as a team are talking about. That gives me topic ideas when I approach others in the different markets to engage with them. How I recruit, it's very relationship based. I prefer to approach someone who I can do research about, whose reputation that I know and I feel confident about approaching them, and perhaps finding a common topic, not necessarily business related, but something that we can dive into as a conversation topic, just to get to know each other as people first, because that's what makes up an organization. You'd have to like each other as people for sure. For example, like Ryan, I have an Owen too. He's my oldest and he started driving this summer, and I so miss those preschool days. I used to look forward to nap time as well. Those were precious moments. But yeah, so I have various legs of my recruiting tool bag, I guess. Like if recruiting is a table, I have several different legs that support that table. Phone is one, social media, the different social media platforms are another. I try to connect with loan officers and prospects where they hang out most. So you'll see me kind of bouncing around different social media platforms, trying to connect with people and engage with them there. So.
Right on. Does anybody have any other questions for Mary Jo that she might be able to answer for you while she's here? We have a great opportunity here to have her on the call. I'm going to have you join these calls every week, Mary Jo, because I think it'd be good for you to just be able to listen in on this. And then this is something else that you can work to share with people that we do this, because I know this doesn't happen in a lot of companies, most companies.
No, this is great. I mean, one really important thing about this time of year, the conversations that happen recruiting wise in Q3 set up those hiring conversations in Q4 and those moves for Q1. So as we get closer to October and the holiday season just starts kind of splitting people in different directions, establishing new recruiting relationships isn't impossible. It's very easy to do, but for the most part, if someone was going to make a move in Q1, they will have already started having those conversations by Q3. So this is the time where they start getting really excited and start looking forward to tying up and wrapping up those things in Q4 to make a clean break in Q1. So really, any leads that actually you might have, if you have a lot of connections, I know the mortgage industry is a really tight-knit community. If there are any folks that you feel in your personal network that would be a great addition or someone to approach, or at least have an open line of communication with. I'm really good about doing that in a non-threatening way, so people don't feel creeped out, hopefully, by just having me as a connection. But I'm happy to work with you to approach those folks and getting them into conversations with Dave or whoever else in the team that might be a good connection to sort of talk about maybe moving over to Zenith. So.
Well, I'll send out, I'll give myself a reminder to send everybody, and you as well, Mary Jo, like the incentive plan that we have in place for loan officers to introduce us to people. So, yeah. So that that's also on your radar a little bit as well.
What type of LO are we looking for these days?
Good ones. You know, I've been thinking a lot about this just because we've been going through this process with Mary Jo, and like I definitely want. I think the high character people is like the first and most important attribute. It isn't the volume; it's the high character because of what we care about at this company, which is, you know, how our core values around how we treat people is so important. It's really important to me, and so it needs to be important. And I want to make sure that we have people that know what it is to be, even though you're going through a challenging situation and a given moment because you have a file that's going wonky, that you're still respectful to everybody and everybody feels like, you know, so that's the first thing is character. And then after that, it's drive, ambition. You know, there are people that want to well, they want to excel. They want to keep, they're learners, right? They're readers. They want to learn and they want to grow. I don't, you know, people aren't going to don't want to crack a book, and are those people tend to be the kind of people who bitch a lot and will tell you everything that's wrong in their lives and with their business, but they won't do anything to change it. Like, I don't want to be around those people. Suck the life and the energy out of the room. And I want people that are excited about what we get to do every day, and that are looking for opportunities to improve and get better and grow. Because I think if you stop growing, you start dying. So so that's it. I mean, it's really pretty basic stuff. And then as far as volume is concerned, I mean, that's something that we really have to talk more about. I think I go back and forth on this, that I want people that want to close 5 loans a month. Like, they have to be like, I want to close at least 5 loans a month. I don't want to, I'm not looking for people like, yeah, if I close 1 or 2, that's good. It's like, yeah, that's hard for me because I just think I mean, I understand closing 1 or 2 loans a month. I don't understand being okay with it. And so that's just me. It's just, so that's difficult. But if they were super high character and they were really helpful and they were super positive, yeah, I'd probably be okay with it. I just would love it if they wanted to do more, because I think if you want to do more, then you're a growing person. If you're okay with that, then are you a growing person? I'm not sure that you are. But that's me. I can be pretty obstinate about these things. I'm inflexible. If I met the right person and they were like, dude, that's all I want to do, but God, I love this business and I love helping people and I love talking, like, all right, if I had the right energy, I think. Does that help? There you go, Mary Jo.
Yeah.
So this will be recorded. Now you know everything you need to know about recruiting. Go nuts.
Dave, I have a question on that Huntington situation with G. As we get closer to October and we're starting to get leads, is there a way for us to like check the pricing so that we know what we're?
Well, we're gonna have to lock those. So those we're gonna have to lock those ourselves. We're gonna have to log in. So when it comes time to lock Giuseppe's loan in, we're gonna be logging into the Huntington website together and just plugging in our margins and pricing the loan ourselves. So it's not gonna be through the OB portal. It won't be an OB because they can't do it. So
But
we'll have to do it ourselves.
So if I get a doctor lead today, that's like, I'm looking the next 3 months. I don't even know what to quote because I can't even see it. That's what I'm saying. So is there a way to like get an idea of the
Yeah,
rate?
you know, yeah, I can send you the raw pricing, and then you know what the margins are.
Okay, so just email you.
Just quote whatever you want, bro. It's all good.
Just get the
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
I did have a client who has a $1.3 million loan, and he just got a thing in the mail saying you might be eligible for Fannie Mae's new product at 4.5 or 4.2% with the APR of 4.8%. And I'm like, well, dude, you're not eligible for squat for Fannie Mae, but
Yeah, when you those like just tell clients like send me that and then you plug it into Mortgage Coach and you can show them, you can just do the math and try to figure out what the points are to get that APR. So that's probably like 4 points or something.
Right there, you know what?
If you want to pay 4 points, I can get you a better rate than that. Show them the screenshot.
What you guys are talking about would be a great social post and would be a great video message for your client database right now, especially right now, is blast out to everybody. It's like, look, here's what's going to happen. Rates are going to start to come down and you're going to start getting those offers and you're going to see amazing interest rates. And what you're not going to see is the cost. Let me tell you how mortgages work. And just short video. Cause like I can get you any rate you want if you're willing to pay enough for it. Right. But it's people don't get that. They're like, hey, can I get this? Can you match that? It's like, well, yeah, I can charge you 40 grand in points if you want, but I would never let you pay that much. So anyway, that'd be great. That'd be great social post and a great video message to your clients for the weekend. They're going to start getting land-based with this. Companies are teeing up. We're starting to see, Kim was saying that she thinks the processors are starting to get recruiting calls. They're not ready to hire anybody yet, but they're getting ready for it, right? So they think like, hey, we just need to make sure that we have some people ready to go because they're going to start doing that if they get busy because a lot of companies are down to the